Welcome back, everybody. This is the Algebra Essentials, Lesson 4, Basic Exponent Manipulation, Homework Review, Part 2. And the last one, we had been doing, multiply monomials. And so this one's going to be a little bit different. We'll see here in this case that for this one, we're going to be trying to find, you'll see, fill in the missing portion of each product to make the equation an identity. Now, we talked about identity in previous lesson about how the left side and right side will be equal to each other no matter what number we plug into the variables. So we want the left side equal to the right side here with a variables situation. So what we would normally do to solve a problem like this, we would normally try to find the unknown value, and we're going to divide. We simply divide both sides by this 3x squared. So our unknown value would be the same as 18x to the 6 over 3x squared. Now, one of the things I like to do is I like to group the numbers together and the variables together, because we talked about the idea of associative property and how in this case multiplication, if we regroup our values, we still get the same exact value here. So we're going to regroup this as the numbers together as 18 over 3 and x to the 6 over x squared. Now, x to the 6 over x squared, this goes into what we call the quotient rule. And so really, x to the 6 over x squared can be expressed as x times x times x times x times x times x times x. Really, x multiplied by itself 6 times. And over or divided by x squared, which is x times x. And so to simplify things, we divide a number by itself. Any number divided by itself except for 0 is going to give us a value of not 0, although a lot of people like use the word cancel, really not the right word to use. It is divide out. These divide out to 1. So here we're left with x times x times x times x, for x to the 4th. But then we notice in this case, the idea between here is we got this 6 and the 2, and we got a 4 here. So how do we get from x to the 6 over x squared equal x to the 4th? Well, we can say in this case that x to the 6 divided by x squared can be expressed as x to the 6 minus 2, because that's how we get our x to the 4th power. So we see in this case that the quotient rule means if we divide two numbers same base, we keep the base and we subtract the exponents. Okay? Now, I'm pretty sure you might have seen this before. If you haven't, definitely want to take notice of this now. So in general, our general rule would be x to the a divided by x to the b, which can be expressed as x to the a over b, x to the b, is x to the a minus b. And that's our quotient rule in this case. Okay? Now I need to clear this out to make more space for the rest of the questions. So if you can, pause the video and write this down for your notes. Okay, so what happened in this case, let me just clear all this stuff here. Okay, and so we end up getting in this case 18 over 3 is going to be 6, and we found this with x to the 4th. So our answer for the first one is going to be 6x to the 4th. Okay? All right. So now let's move on to our part B question, B, and we do the same exact thing here. We're going to divide both sides by 8xy squared. And so now we're going to get 40x squared y to the 7th over 8xy squared. And again, we regroup using the associative property. 40 over 8 times x squared over x times y to the 7th over y squared. And so we will now simplify. 40 over 8 is definitely 5. And x squared over x is not x squared, because really x is x to the 1st power. And therefore, we subtract exponents, we're going to get x to the 1st. Okay? And then y to the 7th divided by y squared. Excuse me, using our laws of exponents, the quotient rule we just talked about, we'll have 7 minus 2 will give us 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have, let me make this a little bit neater. Sorry about that. All right, so the answer for part B would be 5 times x times y to the 5th power. Okay, for C, we do the same exact thing. All right, I'll use different color. Take 90 times x to the 4th over y and divide by 15xy. Again, we're going to separate them as 90 over 15 times x to the 4th over x times y over y. Well, here we go, and we get in this situation, 90 over 15 is going to be 6. And x to the 4th over x, please remember in this case, x to the 4th over x to the 1st is 4 minus 1 will give exponent of 3 for the x. And now y over y. Now again, that's 1 minus 1 is 0. But y to the 0 is not equal to 0. Keep in mind in this case that any number divided by itself except for 0 is equal to 1. Okay? So in this case, our 0 exponent rule is x to 0 if x does not equal 0 must equal 1. Okay, so that's our 0 exponent rule. Okay, now again, I have to make space for later on, but make sure you write that down in your notes. Okay, any number to the 0 power except for 0 must equal to 1. Okay, so our answer for part C will be 6x to the 3rd power. Don't need to write down the 1 again. Okay. For D, take 24 x to the 6 divided by negative 3x squared. Well, our rule is still the same, 24 over negative 3, and then x to the 6 over x squared. Again, please remember, when you divide a positive by a negative or a negative by positive, we will get a negative result. So 24 over 3 is 8, so we should have a negative 8 because it's 24 divided by negative 3. And x to the 6 divided by x squared will be x to the 4th power. So our answer is going to be negative 8x to the 4th. Okay. Now for E, well, we have negative 48 x to the 4th, y to the 10th, and divide by negative 16 x squared, y squared. And so again, we group the numbers together as negative 48 over negative 16, x to the 4th over x squared, and y to the 10th over y squared. And we're going to get, in this case, well, negative 48 minus 16 will give us positive 3. And let me move this here. And then we have, in this case, the x to the 4th divided by x squared. Well, 4 minus 2 is 2, so we have x to the 2nd power. And then y to the 10th divided by y squared will be, in this case, y to the 8th power. So our answer will be 3x squared y to the 8th. Okay, so now for letter F, I had to make a slight error. I typed in the wrong value for F. It should be 49x to the 8th y to the 6th. I had 48x to the 8th y to the 6th. So for our last one, we're going to take 49x to the 8th y to the 6th and divide by 7x to the 4th y cubed. Again, we're going to separate them here as 49 over 7 times x to the 8th over x to the 4th times y to the 6th over y to the 3rd. And we're going to get, in this case, 49 divided by 7 is going to be 7. X to the 8th divided by x to the 4th is x to the 4th. And y to the 6th divided by y to the 3rd is y to the third. Now, again, be very careful. Be very tempting to put down x to the second. You might want to divide the exponents, but here when we divide two numbers same base, we keep the base and subtract the exponents. Therefore, the answer for the last one, f, will be 7 x to the fourth, y to the third. And so this is going to be where I'm going to stop for part 2 and part 2 here. And so in this case, we'll see all the answers here. All right, I should just make sure I box all the answers. Okay, and so the correct answer for this one was here, and the correct answer for this one was here. Well, don't need to put the one there. So technically, this will be the answer here. All right, so hope this is helpful. I know it's a lot of practice here and a lot of questions that we would do here. And so keep in mind in this case, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to be really good with these because we're going to do a lot of this basic material. I say it's basic because stuff we should learn before, we might have forgotten, and so we have to be sharp with this material. So definitely practice and go over these again if you need to, and then of course watch the video again to make sure just to check your work and also. Okay, so this ends part 2, and so we'll definitely continue part 3 with some more different work, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to watch that video as well. If you have any questions or comments and just feedback, we'd love to hear from you guys. Please put them in the comment section below. Please, if you can, give a like to the video if you found it helpful. And, you know, just helps our channel, as well as making sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be alerted when any new videos are added. Well, thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.